back in a minute.
That's those cheeky monkeys out and about. That'll be right, them going to the artisan food thing. It's the toffee vodka. That's what she goes for. And, of course, the Pimm's. She is the Pimm's princess. Now, there'll be many of you out there that see these spectacular show gardens that run the length from the Longwater right the way up, and there's some over the other side as well. Some of these gardens look as if they've been there for 20 years, but have been created in no more than 20 days. And there's some spectacular gardens from some very talented designers. Now, we've interviewed several of them here at the Grapevine. But one particular designer that's created something very special. You will have seen it too. It is the giant television that is in fact sunk into a garden, even with a few bent aerials. Yeah, you can see it. Check that out there. Being very radical and very different. And the person that designed it and created it is very different too. Because unlike a massive professional company that specializes and has built show gardens for years, it is done effectively by somebody who is a little different. Somebody like yourselves with a passion and energy for gardening that has come to create their own garden at Hampton Court Palace. And that is, a.k.a. garden hero, Simon Webster. Nice to meet you, mate.
Thank you for having me, David.
And you've gone through the process of creating this garden here. Now, first of all, I think what a lot of people want to hear is you've got this very conceptual design of the TV. Yeah. Tell us all about it.
Well, very basically, very simple idea. I have always wanted to do a garden which was based on a monochrome landscape and find a way of adding a splash of colour to it. And obviously, what better way to do that than to drop a whacking great big TV on it and let the colour flood out the front. Right,
so just taking a look at it at the moment, around the perimeter of the garden itself, it has very silvery plants. So this is the black and white. Take us through that, because you've got paving to represent one and plants the other, is that right?
Yeah, I wanted a very formal structure to the outside area, pretty much based on like a test card. Black and white test card.
Oh, yeah, no, I remember those, yeah.
So the strips, black and silver strips, and a framework around it, and then a circle in the middle, and then basically keep that all monotone, and then add some colour to it.
So effectively bursting through the centre of the television itself is all the different coloured plants to represent the colour coming from the telly in a more monochrome world.
That's it, in a nutshell.
So what did you choose as plants to make that colourful impact?
Well, I wanted to get something very loose and informal as opposed to the formal structure, so I went for a wildflower meadow with some added flowers in. In hindsight, probably wasn't the best choice because I should have had a bit more colour in there. But you live and learn, this is part of the process.
Well, and it's an exciting part when you create those things. And the thing that's very different about it is the time that you came to put it together. How long was it from the moment you arrived on site to the point where you were complete?
Just under 2 weeks. It was the night before judging. Once the assessors had left, we just got it finished. So.
You're joking. No. So what time at night did you finish?
It was about 9 o'clock.
About 9 o'clock at night. Now, it's very close in a variety of different ways. Now, for some people that, certainly our studio audience here, that come to take a look around there, it's very different. You expect a phenomenal amount of experience. But it's your general passion, horticultural keenness that's done it. With your hindsight now, what would you say to people that fancy doing it themselves?
I would say, if it's something you want to do, go for it. You know, no one's going to make any changes for you. You've got to do these things yourself. And it's a passion that I had. I went to Chelsea Flower Show about 2 or 3 years ago and came out of there thinking it was such a magical experience. And I thought, I want to be a part of this. Yeah. And how do I go about that? And 2 years later, I've done a garden at Hampton Court.
Well, I think we want to know what that process is, but what is your actual job? What do you do for a living?
I'm a graphic designer. I work for a company, heading up the design department, back in West Yorkshire. But, so I have a full-time job in addition to doing things like this.
Yeah. So it really came from a concept of going to Chelsea, fancy having a go yourself, and then coming and creating it. Now, it's an absolutely spectacular garden. I think you should go and see it. If you walk out of the doors just here, it leads you up to the conceptual garden. There's lots of really good gardens up there, other than just Simon's, the whole area thing. But Simon will be up there, so you get a chance to chat to him yourself. It's a brilliant one. Thank you very much, Simon. Thank you for coming and seeing us.
Cheers,
we'll ask you to stay because we've got a hanging basket challenge and we're going to Shanghai you to have a little go at that. In the meanwhile, Jane is still out and about at Hampton Court with Neil. Goodness knows where they are now. They